All right, back on the road. This is a really cool town, by the way. It's called Jeongok, and this whole street was lit up at night last night, so that was really cool to see. It's got the traditional Korean countryside town vibe, and still enough stuff to do. Like, there's some nightlife stuff as well, pubs and stuff like that, but I was just relaxing yesterday. I'm just going north to the next town called Yeoncheon, and I'm gonna get lunch there somewhere, so. I was only about 35 kilometers from finishing the Pyeonghwa Nuri Bike Path at Baekmagoji, but I'd miss out on about 20 kilometers of course 6 and 7 because I came off the bike path to get to my motel, and I was starting to have fun exploring off the path as well. Alright, starting the route on a highway section, I guess. It's not too bad though. Cars are all going pretty reasonable speed. Legs are feeling it after those hills yesterday for sure. I'm glad I got a shorter day today. I like those houses there too with the blue roofs. If you go to Jeju, you'll notice a lot of the traditional houses over there have the blue roofs like that. And I think it looks really nice with the ocean as well. In the background, it's got like that nice ocean Jeju vibes. So if you make it over to Jeju, definitely check out some of the kind of countryside places a little bit too. And I'd especially recommend Kimyeongni. So this is a Goin-dol park, which is basically rock statues from a long time ago, like thousands of years. I've seen videos online of people camping in this parking lot here because there's a bathroom right over there. Bathroom is just a squat toilet and a urinal, so no sink there either. I was now heading into Yeoncheon-eub, and it was my plan to get some lunch as well. And being a city that I'd never even heard of before, it actually surprised me quite a bit and ended up being one of the most beautiful towns I've seen in Korea before. Surrounded by mountains, and with some cultural heritage of its own too. This used to be a railroad that went between Seoul and Wonsan, and it was completed in 1914. So that was after Japan took over Korea. Pretty crazy just to think that like it all used to be connected, you know? We're so close to North Korea right now, so if they somehow signed a peace treaty, there still would be trains going up there. This would probably be one of the final stops before you go up towards North Korea, so. Before heading back onto the bike path, I decided to get some kimbap to go, as the weather was too nice not to eat outside. Here we go, we got a spot to stop. So one of my favorite things to eat when cycling or hiking or anything is kimbap. It's a big piece of seaweed wrapped around rice, and inside of it there's like vegetables and meat and all sorts of stuff, you know? And today I got one I've never had before. It's called nude kimbap. And I guess usually they put the tuna inside of it, but today they put the tuna on top of the kimbap, which I've never seen before. So you got some ham, cheese, tamuji, which is like a pickled sweet radish. We got fish cake in there and a little bit of crab too. That is good for sure. Some pickled pepper as well as a side dish, so it's a welcome addition. I was now just under 20 kilometers away from the end of the bike path, and things started to get more scenic on course 7, cycling close to the river with beautiful mountains in the background, and then going in out of these little peaceful villages here and there. I don't know what it is, I guess because I grew up in the mountains in BC in Canada, but they always make me feel at home for sure. The mountains in Korea look similar to the mountains in my hometown as well. I made it to the next town of Daegwangri, the last town before the end of the path. And again, I was really taken aback by just how peaceful and serene it is. And I would have never known about it if I didn't just happen to be cycling past it. It's a really interesting farm village. A lot of the houses are incredibly old. You can see right there, it's probably over 50 or 60 years old at least. It's such a beautiful valley, like just tucked away in between these mountains, kind of in the middle of nowhere, you know? I've traveled around all of Korea. I don't know, this place in particular is pretty special. It's just really nice. Yeah, just over 10 kilometers until the end of the Pyeonghwa Nuri Bike Path. Oh, there's a spot to rest right here too. Never seen this happen before, but I have these Rock Bros pedals from China, and there's a bunch of grease kind of forming around the inside there by the crank, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe just they over greased them at the factory or something. They're super cheap, like $20 pedals, so probably what I get for ordering them.
There was a bunch of construction going on next to the path, and it blocked the path altogether further ahead. So I had to take a couple kilometer detour to cross the river and then continue up north on the other side. And from here, the path was starting to get a bit rougher, and there was another cool vacation spot that looks like it hasn't been used in a while. And then for the perfect storybook ending, just like my first day on this trip, my tire decided to give up on me just as I was about to arrive at the finish line.
Oh no, I think we got a flat. It's definitely leaking, but it might be a slow leak. Might just try pumping some air into it and see. Okay, still doesn't feel super solid, but just ride it a little bit and test it out. Okay, it appears to be a very slow leak. And I have about 3.4 kilometers left, so I think I'm just gonna finish this path and deal with it at the end. It's really hot out right now and I wanna fix it under some shade. I see it struggling, but this will be fine. Oh, you know what? Is this the end? Oh, this is the end. The end of the Pyeonghwa Nuri Bike Path. I had no idea. That's hilarious, actually. It's a bike just held on to the very end. Oh, I see. If you go straight down there, that's Gyeongwon-do, the mountainous region of Korea. So you can see right here, Yeoncheon-eub is the finish right there. We have done it. Pyeonghwa Nuri Bike Path clear. Except for about 30 kilometers of it actually, because I took some weird sections and yesterday I kind of left the path to find a motel. Okay, so there is a stamp booth here. I'll put a stamp on my hand anyways. There you go, it barely shows up. Aha. I don't know if you can see, but a little rock went right into the tire. See if we can get that out. Yep, successful, what's it called? Successful removal.
I decided to continue up ahead and check out Baekmagoji and see something memorable for the finish, which is the last stop before entering North Korea on the old Gyeongwon Train Line I discovered earlier in Yeoncheon. There was some really beautiful farmland, and I noticed the bike path continued further up ahead too.
So the sign says it goes to DMZ Chose Pyeonghwa Town. I don't know where that is, but I'll check on the map. Yeah, it's like 12 kilometers away. Way up there. I'm not gonna head up there on this trip, but maybe once they finish the courses and it keeps going, I can start from this point on and keep going across the DMZ and maybe all the way to the East Coast Bike Path. But yeah, this was just a short test trip to kind of to test my setup and all that kind of stuff. But I did see a big like taegeuk Korean flag somewhere.
I was in a bit of a rush to catch the subway back from Yeoncheon Station, about 25 kilometers back down south, but I headed for the big Korean flag and arrived at Baekmagoji, which is a memorial for one of the most brutal battlefields during the Korean War, starting on October 6, 1952, and lasting for 10 days, which resulted in 14,000 casualties for the Chinese army and over 3,000 for the Korean army, where the Korean 9th Infantry Division held its ground. The Pyeonghwa Nuri Bike Path was a memorable ride itself. It was a good mix of beautiful Korean countryside nature, a few views into North Korea, and a lot of military presence, which really makes you feel the intensity that still remains today between the South and the North. There are also some hidden gems and beautiful villages along the way, and it's hard to rank among all the bike paths in Korea because it's so different from the others. and this will mostly depend on how interested you are in the Korean military and North Korea, but I put it at rank 6 out of the 9 bike paths I've ridden here. If I were to recommend a route, I'd recommend completing courses 1 to 4 and ending at Imjinggak, as you can easily take the subway back to Seoul from there. And courses 5 to 7 are pretty similar to each other, mostly riding through farmland, without anything really impactful until the very end at Baekmagoji. It was time for me to head back just over 25 kilometers to Yeoncheon Station to ride subway line number 1 back to downtown Seoul, which always has some interesting characters to see. And that'll do it for this series. We just want to say thank you so much to everyone for your support and for watching us along life's journey. We hope you're all healthy and happy, and Yujin and I hope to show you some amazing parts of Korea after we complete a pretty big transition in our lives. So we hope to see you soon. Made it back to Seoul.